continue. Okay, this is the Budget and Finance meeting for Northwest San Pedro Neighborhood Council on Wednesday, December 3rd, 2025. I see we have one attendee allowed to talk. Peyton, are you a student? Peyton?
Unmute him, Mel. You
I
gotta,
did.
okay.
Ask him mute. I did.
Peyton, are you a student? If you're a student, Peyton, raise your hand. I had to do that the other day. Well, don't worry about it.
Mm, okay. Um, so our first item is the MER. Let me bring up the share
Oh,
first.
there's Peyton right there.
Oh, but yeah,
Peyton, you can unmute yourself if you can talk, so you can talk.
nope.
Doesn't have
Um,
hmm.
okay, so here's the agenda. Can you see it, John?
You need a little bit
A little
bump it up.
bigger?
Yeah,
Thank you.
How's that?
there you go. Yeah,
So,
Kane and I, Kane and I have eyesight difficulties.
me too. So the first thing is general public comment. Anybody have any public comment at all that's not on the
I
agenda?
don't. Go ahead.
None for me.
Me either. Um, so we'll move on. So the MER isn't available because it's not beyond the fifth business day of the month. So we'll have to just bring it to the board for motion and voting. The budget is here. And here's our budget right now. We've got $11,792.81 in unallocated money. So not many expenses this month. All we had was mailroom, and Cheryl hasn't been able to do the minutes, so we didn't have to pay for that either. And so, an audio, we were on virtual, so we didn't have an audio expense. So, and no food. So we had really nothing that we spent money on this month.
Well, that's a good plus.
Yeah. So one thing I was thinking about too, John, we have 11,792.81. And remember too, coming this next year is election year again for everybody that had a 2-year seat.
Are you
Next
sure?
June, next June, July, yes, sir. So
Okay.
elections will start again next year. Yeah, they were talking about it at the town hall that I went to the other night after the executive board meeting. But we'll talk about that at the end of the meeting because there's a couple of things I want to bring up, budgetary things that are of grave concern. But anyway, so this, who wants to move this?
I'll move it.
I will second it.
And you will second it, Kane? Okay. So so roll call vote. Kane,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
and Mel. Yeah. Okay. So now the next thing we're gonna get to. This is for Toberman. this is their submission for the
food money we're doing.
for the food money. And we're gonna, this motion is to give Toberman $2,000 of the 3,000. So the motion is motion to award food pantry MPG of $2,000 to Toberman. Any discussion?
No, we're good.
Okay.
No comment. Okay.
Yeah.
So with that said, I'll move. Who wants to second?
I'll second this time.
Okay. And so roll call vote. Kane,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
and Melanie. Aye. Okay, the next one is, darn it. No, where'd it go? No. That's Toberman. Where's the other one? It's not in there. Oh, Lord. Where'd it go? It's not in there. I loaded all of these up. Give me a second. Stop share. Why? This should have been the other one right here. Right there. There we go. Can you see that? Or no? No.
Didn't pop up.
I see open folders.
Yeah.
There we go.
There you go, YMCA.
Yeah, YMCA of Harbor area. And this
YW? YWCA.
Or YW, sorry.
YWCA, women, Young Women's Associate. And this is for $1,000. So any discussion?
No, I think it's an excellent organization. I'll move that we support that.
And I'll second it.
$1,000 to YWCA. So Kane move. John second. Okay. So any further discussion?
Nope.
No.
Kane, roll call vote. Kane,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
and Melanie. Aye. So the next item is the movie budget. So these are the outreach minutes. And they had approved a movie for February, but the movie's going to have to be in March because we aren't going to be, by the time they vote on a movie and have everybody agree on it and get it to the board, it's going to not be within the 30 days. It has to be an invoice and all of that I submit to get city clerk to approve the event, because this is a sponsored event by us. It's not a tabled event. So we have to be 30 days or more to get an approval from city clerk's office.
And we're probably, like I said, we're not going to have the meeting in December because it's too close to,
Right.
Christmas Eve and all. So there's no youth and outreach, and I canceled issues too.
So John, you're gonna
Well,
love
if we
this.
do it,
So
if we do it in January, right, then that still gives you time to do the whole month of February. We could do it
right,
at towards the end of March.
we're gonna have to ask for more money. So I did the budget, and guess what? After
It
Black
is.
Friday, when I was at them and talking to you, they
Oh, don't
raised the
tell me it
price
went
to
up. Oh, I knew it. I knew it.
86.27
Darn.
Wow.
for for the 40 box. So this gives us 160. I talked to Michael. He said 160 will be plenty. He doesn't think we'll have more than that there at a movie inside.
Okay.
So that would give 4 boxes of 40, and that'd be 160 total. So that would be 345.08. So if you have 40.75 for the movie, say, because it's going to be around that 453, 475, somewhere around there, and 345.08 for the popcorn, that's a budget of 820.08. So this is what I'm proposing. And
850.
I'm making a judgment call here just in case after the first of the year Swank decides to raise their prices too.
Yeah.
$900. Just make a motion for $900 and call
Perfect.
it. Uh,
That's perfect. Yeah.
that way we're well within a window to work with rather than coming back and asking for more money, and stalling the process of being able to spend,
Yeah.
you know.
No, that's good. That's a good idea. You know, and then in January we can get all that information. You know, she can find out, Angela, how much it's going to run in January. We could reserve it, and then we know what the popcorn's gonna. You know, who knows? Maybe the popcorn might drop by that time.
It might again,
But
maybe.
you know, but it's better to have more than you know. The leg room is always the best thing. You know.
So this will read: movie at Peck Park. Motion to approve $900 for popcorn and movie license. Um, so who wants to move that?
I'll move it.
And I will second.
Okay. So let's vote. So Kane,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
and Melanie. Hi. Okay, so I think that's it. Yeah.
I have.
So stop share. Let me grab the share button again. I'll get the agenda back up. Okay, so there's no other admissions, there's no other request of money. The only thing I want to discuss with you guys is something interesting that I just learned. So Empower LA and Budget Advocates did a town hall on Monday night,
Okay.
and Empower LA put it all on, and they're talking about their budget. So city clerk runs our money. Empower LA runs like elections and running of our training and kind of management of everything that goes on. And I'm going to try and write up a report to give to the board too on this in public comment or something on Monday at the board meeting. But the thing is with this is that one of the things that they brought up is their budget was cut so deep that like Congress they give $10,000 to do Congress every year and
Wow.
10,000 for budget day. There's going to be none of that money this year because of the budget cuts. So it's questionable whether Congress, unless on the good of all neighborhood councils, whether or not it happens. Also, budget day is going to have to run basically on neighborhood councils donating money, out of their funds, like,
Wow.
what has been done in the past. So it's gonna be a real slippery slope. The other spin on this whole thing is they're saying that they may not have money for our training, but we'll still be required to do it. And what they're looking at is either finding us to have to go to the state sites and take the training, like for ethics with the state, and
Mm-hmm.
go to other guidances with the other agencies to do it, is one option that wouldn't cost the neighborhood councils. Either that or charge the neighborhood councils per board member $10, and we have to pay for a quarter stone every year out of our board,
Wow.
which would be
Jeez.
$170 or so every year.
$170 per council or per person?
Yeah, per
Yeah, because we
council.
have 17 board members.
Right. I just want to make
It
sure I
would
was.
be based on how many board members we have. And so I found that interesting. And then so they have no control about giving us more money in our neighborhood council funds. That's city clerk. They can like bat for us, and try and push for it, but they have no say. The NEAs that we have, like the guy that comes, Daniel.
Yes.
Um, so with their budget, instead of having like 6, 7, or 8 neighborhood councils that they have right now, after the first of the year, they're going to have like 11 per NEA. So we'll
Hmm.
see a lot less of Daniel. It'll be harder for them to get to all the board meetings and be able to be that available to all the neighborhood councils.
Yeah.
So they've requested more money from on the first of the year for more money to cover the NEAs, to cover elections for next year. They want like $500,000 for elections, for outreach and all that for elections next year, for them to do stuff.
How they gonna? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. They didn't do much outreach before. I just hope if they get $500,000, they do a heck of a lot more outreach than they've done for us out in this area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the last I'll be honest with you. The last elections was terrible.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
77 people voted.
I know. It was that way all over the harbor area, though, John,
Yeah, I
because
mean, that's
we
just
don't get any outreach that Empower LA does. They concentrate on the Valley and West LA and do all this stuff there, and also like the downtown, like neighborhood councils and all that. And
Mm.
again, we're the redhead stepchild down here that gets forgotten about on a regular basis in the harbor area.
but we did
And
better
I
when
just
we did it at Peck Park and stuff when the people came to vote.
right. And I think in person we do a lot better when people can come and vote.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
the way
so.
this
But they want
paperwork
to do
was
this
done
virtual.
this year was terrible. People said they tried to go on the website, they couldn't get on. They were having they would do it, never showed up, and it's it just didn't work.
I'd
And
like to say
we are going to be in person on Monday. You know that, Kane, right? That it
yes.
was decided at the executive board meeting that we're going to be in person.
Yeah.
What were you going to say, Kane?
Um, Considering the climate that we're in, everybody should be in person voting. So
Yep.
if it's the least cost effective, it should be. Sorry, if it's the most cost effective, that should be a no brainer. That We're
Right.
not.
For them, I think what it was is they said that to hire people to be there because have city clerk employees that run the elections physically at each of the neighborhood council sites where voting is.
Hmm.
And so to hire somebody to do that was more costly than just having people vote by mail.
So
Than
let me just
paying.
ask, and I'm just curious, right? The Daniel Johnson, he comes to our meetings. How
Right.
many? I wonder how many councils does he have under his purview?
Well, he's going to have like 11 now after in January.
But as of right now, what does
As of
he
right
have?
now, like 7 or 8.
Well, they need maybe. I honestly, just out of creativity, maybe there needs to be some type of peer-to-peer accountability, self-policing, if you will.
For
Or what about us? What about the people in the council, those that aren't running, that still have the 2 years, right? Why
they
can't we help out? And
we can if it's a city clerk run election. If we do what's called a oh God, we went through this, and Diana, we did it one year because we got mad at them. um it's called, we can do an election where we run it ourselves versus running it with the city clerk, and
uh,
we get no support then from them, and we have to make our own ballots and do it that way, and we get no support and have to do our own counts and have people and run it. We can do it that way, but it puts a lot of work to run the polls and to run everything and all that. um
I'm for it.
but it just, we have to see, they may not allow us now. That was something way back that they allowed us to
well,
do. It's a
well,
big question.
I said that to Octaviano when because earlier the year Octaviano was still doing it, and I
Right.
asked Octaviano, I said, why can't we take it over and do it? He says no. He says, I believe he said it was a Brown Act that they can't do it anymore because you guys are running for the position.
Hmm.
And you can't, and it makes sense. You can't, when you see a
Run
fellow
the election.
person run it, yeah. How do we know
It's one of your buddies or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, exactly. So, and it makes sense, but
But
without
I
them
get it because
doing
we're
it,
making.
like they did it with 4 years when, I ran, it was great. They did it. We
But
should have had
things have changed,
104 votes.
John. It's changed though with the city clerk taking over everything, elections and everything else. And also, this comes into mind too with the new LA charter, what they're looking at. One of the things that I've been trying to advocate for, and Doug has too, through budget advocates and through his commissioner thing, is to advocate for more neighborhood council have a bigger voice, to not be just not included at the table, and at the big boy table we're always at the children's table, yet they want to
Yeah.
make us ethics, they want to make us do all this other stuff and act as a city official, but when it comes down and dirty, we don't get to be able to be at the big kids table with the big boys to make decisions
Right.
about the city and
Yeah.
involved.
Right.
We're always over at the
Vol-
children's table and
we're
not, and getting in
volunteers.
like a budget advocate, trying to get into some of these departments and be recognized and be heard, trying to, this isn't Mickey Mouse, this is a white paper that we're writing. We're right there in forefront with the mayor and the city controller and all that, talking about the budget,
Hmm.
and our ideas are listened to by them, and we need to be able to get into these city departments. And a lot of the city departments won't give you the time of day or give you an appointment. I have fought so hard with my connections through Lee and other people to get a meeting with the port. I got a meeting at the port finally last week where we're meeting at 11 o'clock in the morning with the CFO of the port and the bigwigs at 11 o'clock at the port and Adrian and I and one of the other budget advocates. And I tell you what, that was so hard to get that meeting, to have them take us serious and give us that meeting. Same with
Right.
emergency management. I still don't have a meeting. She's back and forth with dates with me, and we can't seem to get in agreement with a date.
Yeah.
But they don't take it serious.
Yeah, see, they just got us as, like I've said all the time in the beginning, that it's always, we're just the eyes and ears for them.
Right.
That's all we are, if you think about it. What are we, you know?
One thing that they said at Empower LA at that town hall, that our councilman needs to, and everybody, not just Tim, but everybody, our councilman needs to push that we are heard, and push that we're part of at the table, and push and include us at all, in not just Ray, but whoever's in charge of the committee, be it the port, public safety, what issues are happening in San Pedro. All of our neighborhood councils in CD 14 or 15 should have a seat at the table with Tim. And I think that's important. And I'm going to have further conversation with Ray about this, because I really think Tim is good and he does like neighborhood councils, but I think sometimes his schedule gets so big and so busy that sometimes we get forgotten about.
He's widespan. He's everywhere. That's the problem. He does everything for everybody. And yeah, we're not. Look, this is on recording, but the other guy never helped.
None, no, nothing, zero, not.
Yeah.
But at least Tim gets out there and does, and
right.
everywhere you see him, he does. He stops in, even if it's 5 minutes.
He's a great councilman. He's a great individual, and I love him. It's just he's so busy, and I really, sometimes it's hard to include everybody.
Absolutely.
But I think it would help our position if we were included a little bit more. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
It's too bad we should have a meeting with Tim, somehow get everybody together and just meet, and have a round table discussion with him,
That's an idea.
Maybe we can get all three, Central, Coastal, and us, and, talk about things that maybe we could, meet at Peck Park or meet in the middle, somewhere,
not a public, just a administrative meeting, so to speak, with our council.
With the town, take the three neighborhood councils and let's discuss this, discuss that, and see what we see. And I believe we see a lot more than he does, because we're always out and about. Everybody on the group is out and about. Kane does things. He sees this, he sees that. Gwen sees this and sees that. Kelly sees this and Ray. I think we all see different when we're out there. And
scan items one at a time, placing them in the bagging area. 22. Savings. 3.
What was that?
I have no idea.
I'm in Albertson. Sorry about that.
Oh, okay. I'm like, sounded like a robot or something. I'm like, it must have been the self-checkout.
Well, listen, while you're at Albertsons, get me a head of lettuce and some cucumbers. Just kidding. I just think we need, I don't want to do it just us, and then he goes to another one with them, and another. I think we all need to get, so we all hear what everybody wants. Because there could be a stuff that they're going like, well, we'd like to do this. Oh, so do we. And so does Central. So there's going to be things that we want to do, Kane being on with the port and everything, he could say, hey, I see this and that. why does the port do that? Why don't they do this or that? And then Central goes, yeah, our guys see the same thing. And Coastal says they've been doing that for years, So
Or
that's,
discuss with Tim about how hard it's been for Kane and all for them to get meetings with the port, to get the
yeah,
invitation to the meetings, to
yeah,
have regular meetings
that's
with them,
exactly,
you know,
exactly. And, you know,
some of the
um,
challenges, the difficulty.
the other thing, and it's, I don't want it to, sound, he's going like, okay, now the dude's talking out of his butt. But we have all these Tobermen, you know, um, what's the other one with what's her name used to work? Susie. Um,
Meals on Wheels,
no, the other,
Tober
no, why is it Interfaith?
Harbor
Um,
Interfaith.
Harbor Interfaith, right? You got that. You've got other places around. You know, why we don't get with them and find out what they're doing and what are your needs? What are you looking for?
We've already
And
done that, though. That's what Lori's doing. That's exactly what Lori's been
okay,
doing, and I've been all of
okay.
them
So then when
and
she
met
comes
with
to the
all of
meeting,
them.
she tells us well, that's what I'm saying. Would they want to sit down with the whole board and come in and let's, spend, you know,
Harbor Interfaith's been having difficulty because and they're just, it's a different, when we were looking at who to donate to. So Toberman right now has a full fridge, a full pantry, huge pantry and fridge and freezer where they can store a bunch of food, and they're feeding a lot of people. A lot. They're
yeah,
feeding
they do. Yeah.
a lot. They're feeding a lot of federal government workers that lost their job. They're feeding elderly. They're feeding people. SNAP maybe go away again too, which is really sad because we won't. California won't release the names and all the personal information of people that receive stamp because it's a HIPAA thing.
Yeah.
And so the
Well,
man
the
up
other thing is they're talking
in
about giving
Washington says
everybody,
that he's not going to give California their federal money for SNAP. There's
yeah,
20 Democratic states that won't get it. That was just released today. So I thought, here we go again. So
yeah, they
the
want to
whole
give them
thing
food stamps
is,
instead of credit cards or this, and to put money on their car. They're
but everybody is, it's not like it's a huge amount of money that people get anyway. And, everybody's living on the edge, a lot of people with one foot into homelessness and
yeah,
poverty right now. Things have gone up so much, and a lot of families talking to them are really struggling, and they're just one paycheck away from being in their car living.
yeah,
And it's sad to talk to a lot of neighbors and a lot of people around. This is really sad, and it's a wake up call. It's a wake up call for all of us to engage with our neighborhoods, engage with people, and talk to them, because you'll find out a lot. Toberman does a lot, and YWCA is doing a lot. And so, like Harbor Interfaith, like I said, they only, if somebody comes to get food at Harbor Interfaith, they have to wait 3 months to come back and get it again.
Wow.
Jesus,
So it just didn't make sense that it wasn't going to hit, like the variable, like our money's impact wasn't going to be. Do you understand what I'm saying? When we were weighing in, the impact wasn't going to be heavy in that area. And some people are giving food like here and there and buying groceries for this person or that person or this person. But again, the impact wasn't like boom, would make the greatest impact with people. And so these
right?
two organizations were the two that the heaviest impact with our money was
Yeah,
going to
for
be.
sure. For sure. Um, Speaking of our bunny, I saw that there was, and I don't want to go too far off the reservation here because this is an important conversation and discussion. Um, we somebody or the clerk had declined one of our payments. I saw
Oh,
something.
yes. Yes, they did. They declined the $500 for, excuse me, the for the Christmas lighting event.
Oh,
For us to
okay.
$500 for the sponsorship, and the reason is that they didn't have a W-9 on file, and so I had to take it back, get the W-9 from them, and they had a W-9, but it was with their other office, and when I submitted it, not with the new address that they put, so they have to resubmit the
Mm-hmm.
W-9 because it wasn't associated with the temple address,
So you
the
had to do the
temple
work twice.
address. So,
Yeah.
so now it's been resubmitted with the W-9 and it's approved. You know, they approved it. So
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I
we're
saw that,
fine.
and I
It
was
just,
like,
I don't know why they send that to the whole board, because everybody's like, why, what happened, Melanie? You know, why? And it's like, well, they were missing their W-9. There's many reasons why it could happen, you
Yeah.
know?
yeah, yeah, that's just transparency.
Yeah. They,
Okay,
but yeah,
thank you for clarifying that.
the whole board got it.
Yeah, yeah. As I'm on this committee officially.
Yeah,
Uh,
I would think the financial officers would get it, but it's like it goes to the whole board because Gwen
mhm.
was got
Yeah,
it too.
that's weird. Yeah, I thought it just went to us for.
No, the whole board.
Hmm.
Okay.
So,
Well, yeah.
No.
It's yeah. As far as the economic challenges and political cohesion that we're having. Um, yeah, we have to be more neighborly. Um, and to where people need food. I'm gonna start having open dinners, meaning offering to share dinners with my neighbors and cook. Maybe one Sunday a month or something like that, and or have a barbecue in January or something like whatever it takes. Um, Potluck. Basically, just have some organized potlucks to
I'm in
to
the process right now. I've got 30 meals that I'm putting together. I've got to go back to the store and get the rest of the stuff, but there are 30 meals with a recipe for the meal on it that are quick and easy, non-perishable items to
wow,
use. 30 meals. And those
bless
30
you.
meals are going to be distributing here probably in the next week. I'm going to put it out there on the essentials group and say, I have 30 meals here, and just have people, and I'm going to sit at Peck Park or at Harbor Highlands Park, and I'm going to give them out for the
Oh,
people that
bless you.
get it. I feel like I've got to do something that is going to make a difference and start, a ripple effect, so to speak. That if I
Yeah.
show an example and be a ripple effect, that'll be an example to other people.
No, absolutely.
I just,
Got to
it,
everybody's got to do
somebody's
something.
got to do something, and we've got to make a difference in this community, because community is all that we have, and our community sticking together, we have to look out for each other. Otherwise, we all sink.
Yeah. I mean, it's anyway. Yeah, the key word is unity,
Yes,
communicate and unity.
exactly.
So
That's why I felt, and I raised my hand, both of them. That's why I felt it's so important, this meeting, that we're in person and not on virtual. And I'm glad that other people saw it that way, that voted, because that the majority did, because we cannot shake a hand, or if there's a challenge, talk one-to-one with that person after a meeting. On virtual, it's so non-personal, impersonal. It's not personal with the stakeholders. And our job as neighborhood council board members is to engage our stakeholders,
yeah,
outreach to them, to be there for them, to be the go between, to help them to get the things that they need. And you can't do that over
Exactly.
a computer.
no, yeah. I mean, my mother-in-law, she asked me, there's a street light on Amelia and Capitol, on the, I guess, the west side, but it's
Oh,
literally,
really?
yeah, it's, well, I couldn't tell you my directions, to be honest.
Oh, it's out.
But
Oh God! Don't tell me it's out
but
again, because that somebody may be pulling copper wire again.
oh wow. Well, that one is, when I found it on 311, that that location was, it looks like it's RPV. And
Oh,
like it's literally like a 45-degree angle, from
it probably is.
Amelia and thing. And I was like, oh man, of all the luck, my mother-in-law lives across the street from that. So I'm trying to help her out as a neighbor. And but I'm as we're talking about this, I'm saying to myself, she wouldn't have had any wherewithal for 311, but
Right.
she knows that I'm on the neighborhood council, and obviously,
So you
So
know
where
Amelia?
is it on Amelia?
Well,
like
Amelia
if you
above
go,
Amelia is RPV.
yes. So so John, if you're going up the hill on the right side where Amelia is, and then the cat corner, not where the fruit stand is, but across the street. On
Yeah, that's
right.
RPV. That site is RPV. That house on the corner there,
Mhm.
because it's on the other side of Amelia, is RPV.
Yeah, cat corner
No,
to the apartment building or condos.
So on
yes,
this side of
yes.
Amelia is still because my aunt lives on Shasta, right there on where Berryman turns. As you make a right onto Amelia, and instead of making a right to go over to your place, Mel, you make a left and you'll go up, and then right when you make the curve, just as you make that curve, don't go fully into the curve. In an angle, you're going to pull up her driveway. She's Rancho
Right.
PV.
Yeah,
Right.
that
So
area
that's
is
what you're
already,
saying, that side.
yeah, that side. And the thing is that the only reason I know that house is there on the corner, because a couple of houses in from there, we had a situation probably about 4 years ago with a sexual offender that was in the park with children, molester, a child molester in the park. And I knew him, and caught him like staring at her daughter and doing videotaping her daughter and stuff on the swings with her underwear and stuff going up on the swing. And she caught him doing it. So
Are we
she's,
still recording?
yes.
Okay.
Hold on. Now, before we go, Mel, bring up there's, remember Melly and I told you there's Carrie Birch is here. She's in the one about music by the sea.
Oh, yeah.
So you could explain to her, better.
Oh, she's here.
Yeah, she's in
Oh,
the
oh,
attendee.
oh,
She's got her hand up. So
okay. I can, let's see, I'll get this to work. Okay, there we go. Hey, Carrie.
Hey there.
So
And looks like
we're
I'm
in
unmuted now.
we're in kind of a predicament this year, because I don't know if you're aware, neighborhood councils got cut $10,000.
Yeah, I was on the Coastal Council for 2 years back in 2014, 2015. So I remember what the budget used to be. And through
Yeah,
conversations with John,
it
I
used to be
was
like,
aware that it was dropped, that it was reduced.
yeah, it went from 50 to 42 to 37
Yeah.
to now to 25.
So
And
I will be brief if you want. I don't know if you were on the other meeting. I
yeah,
just,
so we are not funding anything right now. No
okay.
need other than emergency for food pantry. We did our whole, we had 3,000 to give, and it went to food
Okay.
pantries.
Well, on that note, I'm pretty creative. I'll back up a minute. I am the vendor coordinator for Music by the Sea. I'm going on my 6th year now, I believe. And overall, this is the 30th year for Music by the Sea. We are all grassroots, everyone is volunteer, and we now have a 501c3 that we
Right.
got awarded just it's been a little bit more than a year now. One of the things that I talked to John about was you guys would be interested in having a booth. And so I'm totally up for that. I would love all, you guys to be able to come and do that. We could talk about that part in another forum because it is Music by the Sea, 6 weeks long.
Right, right. It's where we've given like $1,000 or $2,000, and I don't know that that's going to be a possibility right at this point, right now.
Sure. Well, I just wanted to touch in real quick and see, let you guys know how we've changed. We run by committee now versus the way that it was kind of done before in the past. God love everybody, but it was a little bit haphazard. So we now, like I said, we now have a committee, and Ken Creighton, the honorary mayor, is also now on our committee as well as our MC. And I don't know, what you were saying about the funds already, what you've already give away. I totally understand and where, of course, where it went. I don't know if that means anything for next summer, which is 2026 budget. I don't know if you're referring to 2025.
Well, a fiscal year budget goes from, for submissions, goes from July until June. So June 20th ends the fiscal year for this year.
Okay.
And July, and then it starts over again with the new money.
So our first, just to throw that out there, since I have the dates in front of me, the first Music by the Sea for 2026 is June 28th.
Right.
And then all five, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 Sundays in July, and then August 1st concludes the 6th one. So you guys tell me, come back in June, whatever, and anything that we can, gather is great.
Part of our challenge is we won't see the new money until July.
Okay.
So if you do it on based on your nonprofit MPG, we have to have 30 days in advance to do that. And so it would take us into the end of July. If we do it just tabling without including the MPG, just say, okay, it's $1,000 to table this event for 6 weeks. And it's not an MPG, it's going to just be paid to the vendor and paid, then that's it. It works differently that way, because like we're doing with Tim, I was able to finagle with that where it's a invoiced type thing where we were able to do the tree lighting for $500 down there to get a table and invoice it and on a W-9 to contribute and do it that way.
So is that what you're suggesting?
So there's ways to wiggle around it, but it's trying to figure out how, because if we do MPG, on the nonprofit number, then they're going to make us do like the 30 days submission.
Or you're saying that like a W-9 invoice,
like a vendor invoice, say if you have like say a W-9 corporation or whatever set up, you could invoice us.
Okay.
If
we do have that too now as well. So we have that. And what, the thought is behind all of this is that, you guys, if you choose to have a booth, that would be great. We would announce all that, announcements all throughout. And then of course, if the money went towards a donation towards like the portable bathrooms that we have to have, security that we have to have, towards the city for the the daily permits. So we'd love to have that as if possible, an invoice situation, and then you guys of course get announcements and that that recognition for the donation money spent, that type of thing. Okay.
And normally what would happen is you would go to outreach, but outreach technically doesn't make financial decisions. They decide that they want to do a table. They would make a motion that they want to do a table and they want to give $1,000, pay the $1,000 invoice, you know, to be there for
Sure.
6 weeks, whatever.
Uh-huh.
Then what would happen, then it would come to budget and finance. And then we
Okay.
see where the money can come from, what happens, and we bring it to the board for approval.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds like maybe a much more doable plan. And then
Yeah.
along with that, being that you did have a space, a tent, then with that money, then you get banner recognition, and at $1,000, for example, you get, vendor benefits along with announcements and banners. And so there, you get a return on your investment too. So however we can make it happen, that would be great.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people are removing the nonprofit number, because what they'll do too, one of the things that the city clerk, they've gotten really persnickety, and Mike will tell you this from before. If you're using somebody else's 501c3 and not your own, they will like toss it out the door.
Been there, done that. Understand what you're saying.
It's like,
totally understand. This is not my first walk down this road with working with that a couple really, years ago. Like, so,
and then if there's any like conflict of interest, beware. I mean, it's like, oh, because we've got one pantry.
So your suggestion is, Melanie, to go to the outreach committee, if you will, and talk to them and like roll it out as a vendor. You guys would be able.
Already went and talked to John already. Just stay in communication with John.
Okay.
And
I didn't realize that. I thought I went to a different committee on that. I thought that was a calendar event or something. So
no, it was outreach. That was outreach. Just stay in contact with John, and John, and provide an invoice to John, and then the invoice. Then we can do that. If what I'm thinking, John, we'll take a look and see, because it's going to make a difference whether or not Chris is going to do that article thing in the San Pedro Today.
Yeah, but that article thing is 2,000. Yeah. For the double page. For the 2-page, yeah. So it's half the cost of doing a newsletter. We could almost do that twice a year. And with that, see, that gets
$1,000
San Pedro. Huh?
The problem is we have an election year next year. So we have to have money for elections. So that's got to be added in as an election thing.
Right. And we could. The first one that we do, we instead of, we could have it all we could have it for the election, and, in the book, because the San Pedro Today gets, it's all low. I mean, it's, what are we now? 98,000 here in San Pedro. So it, let's say it goes to 80,000.
That we have, like this year, we had some rollover, so we're going to need to make sure we do the same.
To keep for that. So, but if we can do it in the magazine like that, and it gets put out to all the houses, a lot better than what we've been doing.
Like we did one of those and did this, that would put us down to rollover would be about 6 or 7 by the time we're done.
Yeah. Because if we do the San Pedro Today, we'll be saving, because I think he was saying it's like 1,800 for both pages, something like, he was going to check with Josh again. So, and we'll find out. But if there's some that's from there, then so we could hold off.
Remember in your minutes, and you have to do an invoice. You have to bring it to your outreach, and they got to vote on it. And then it comes to budget and finance. We find the money, and then send it to the board.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, just stay in contact with me, Christina. You know, Carrie, you got Christina that if you need me,
Yeah,
or I got your
yeah.
number, and then we'll just because I do the events,
Okay.
basically.
So
So
my question is then, what month, Melanie and John, what month would that be appropriate?
In June.
In
yeah,
June?
We'll
Okay.
yeah,
pay it in June. And what we'll do is not talk about the days in July. We will talk about that it's in June.
Okay.
Because they're really funky about paying for stuff that's going to be in the following fiscal year, and we'll just invoice for the June date.
So would it be
maybe.
appropriate to be May, like me to guide
Well, that's
approach
what
you
I
guys?
was thinking. Maybe because remember, we're the fourth Monday of every month. Why don't we do it for May, Mel?
Yeah,
All right.
do the invoice in May to bring to the board in June.
Okay.
Yeah, so
That
we'll have it for
that
the board.
makes
Yeah,
good sense.
right. So what we'll
Okay.
do is you'll have me an invoice at the May meeting,
Okay.
uh, and then um, we'll vote on it, and then it'll go on to the executive board. They'll put it
Okay.
on. Melanie will put it on the consent calendar, and then we vote on it there.
All
We
right.
vote on it with the budget and stuff. Yeah.
Also, make sure that in the body of the invoice, because we just
Yeah.
went through this with CD15, that it says what we're going to get as far as banner, da 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 da,
Yes. Yes.
all
Yes.
that. Put that in the body of the invoice. The top part of the invoice needs to have John. You need to give does she have your business card?
No, but I can. Yeah, did I give you one last time?
I don't think so, but
At the
it's
top,
okay.
I could
at
always
the
get
top
it to you. We could
invoice
always
Yeah.
meet somewhere.
has
Yeah. Oh,
that
all right.
Northwest Neighborhood Council on it, and then our
Yes.
address.
Yes.
As
Yes.
we're
I usually purchase goodies from Christina, so I come to your house, John.
Okay, so then what I can do is I'll give her one of my cards, and
Yeah, perfect.
yeah.
Perfect. And
Okay.
I was gonna, Melanie, I was gonna just about to say that too, is that on the invoice, it will step out for you guys, like bullet points of what the benefits are. And totally understandable if, with the booth becomes, people have to man the booth. So we could talk about that at a later time, but it's usually like 11 to 5. Okay. And where
Yeah.
I mean, that's logistical stuff, but what I just want to give you that heads up. Okay.
Also, Carrie, Lori told me something that you guys can tear down our canopy, and you can store it, and then then the next Sunday you bring it out.
Who told you that?
That's what when Lori and I were doing it back in 2, 3, 4 years ago.
that was when Michael was running it, though. Mike can't.
So here's the deal. Since everything has changed, and I do know that when we did that a couple years ago, I do remember what you're talking about, but we did have that room broken into and everything was stolen out of it.
Oh wow.
So, yeah, so that happened. And then now, future where we are, we don't really have any place to store any of those. I mean, all the vendors, we all are all self-sufficient. So we all pack our stuff and leave, every week and then bring everything back and build our house and then, hang out. So,
Okay.
yeah. And then there's a building that was kind of used for storage. And to my understanding, out that way, so closer to the ocean side, that building was going to be torn down. So even that possibility is not, potentially going forward because it's basically, it was wood rot and all these other things. So yeah, it gets just eaten up out there by the ocean.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, it's
all
not a
right.
problem. We can tear it down. It doesn't take
To
but
be
minutes.
continued. Yeah, that is the thing I will say for sure. Being a vendor myself, you have your your tables, your chairs. So yeah, we can talk about that later. Okay, just to
Yeah.
let you know.
Okay.
Right.
All
All
right.
right. I thank you guys for your time and all of the suggestions. John, I'll get a card from you sooner than later.
Yeah.
And then I will talk to you guys back in May then. Okay?
Okay. Yeah, we'll
Thank
keep
you
in
so
touch
much.
throughout the year.
Great.
All right. Thank you guys.
Yeah,
Thank you,
Appreciate
Carrie.
it. I'll leave now.
Just
Bye.
being creative and
Okay,
figuring
bye.
it out.
Yeah,
Thanks,
you're
Carrie.
welcome. Bye-bye.
Oh, that's good though. We can get
So,
that. And
yeah, that'll work. So
so what else? What
yeah,
else do we have on the budget?
um, so John, the budget right now, like I said, we had 11,000 and what did I say? 11,000. Let me look at it again.
I don't know, about 11,004, 11,005.
Where is it? 11,792.81. But then from that, $900 will come off of that. So that's
Yeah.
going to put us down to 10,800 about. So then if you do 2,000 for the newsletter, the San Pedro Today,
Yeah.
that's 2,000 off of that. So that would be 7, 8.
It'd be 870.
8.
Yeah. 80,
And
yeah.
1,000 to them would be down to 7 to roll over.
Okay.
And that's probably in the ballpark of where we should be between the 6,000-7,000 range, especially with being very limited on our money. You know, if for the grace of God, maybe they would bump us next year, but I'm not holding my breath.
No. I don't know if anybody's fighting for it, but
They are. Bonk is even fighting for it. And it's a lot of bigwigs are fighting for it, but in the end, it's the city council who approves it or not, is what happens.
Okay.
It's kind of handicapped a lot of neighborhood councils.
Yeah.
So.
All right. What else do we have?
Right. But I think that's it. I'm going to call the meeting and stop the recording. So meeting ends 6:37. Next meeting will be on January 7th.
Yeah.
So at 5:30. Alrighty.
Okay. Did you stop the recording?